In the Old West, if a man needed a gun or ammo, he didn't have to search far. Nearly every town had a shop where a man could arm himself, but finding what you wanted wasn't always a sure thing. Not everyone out there could read, but that didn't matter. Folks who couldn't spell their own name knew enough to look for the unmistakable silhouette of a rifle, hanging above the door like a promise. The sign might be long and weather-beaten, its wood scratched and scarred by years of wind and dust. But the shape of that rifle never lied. Whether it was painted in a dark, faded black or a rusted red, it stood out like a warning in the dry desert sun. You might find other signs nearby. A general store with a loaf of bread, a livery with a horseshoe. But none shouted louder than that rifle. It wasn't just a sign, it was a statement. A man didn't need to read a word to know what kind of place he was walking into. It was where you went when you were ready to load up and face whatever the Wild West had in store. Policeman Daniel Sheehan was shot Saturday evening by Joel Thornton, a desperado who has been for several years past running a saloon at the state line, about 6 miles west of Joplin, having his residence on the Kansas side and the saloon on the Missouri side. During his residence there, Thornton has been connected with several serious scrapes, and when officers from Kansas would go to arrest him, he would step over the line and defy them. About 2 months ago, he became involved in a difficulty, since which time Deputy Sheriff Miller has been carrying a warrant for him, waiting for him to make his appearance in this city so that he could serve the warrant. The opportunity presented itself Saturday afternoon, about 5:30 o'clock, when Thornton, accompanied by his wife, went into a dry goods store to make some purchases. He was followed by Deputy Sheriff Miller and policemen George McMurtry and Dan Sheehan. The desperado, seeing the officers, jumped behind the counter, followed by Sheehan, who seized him about the body, endeavoring to pinion his arms. In this he failed, and Thornton succeeded in drawing a large double-action .44 caliber revolver. Presenting it at Sheehan's abdomen, he fired. The ball took effect in the left side. Thornton also tried to shoot City Marshal Hamilton about 6 months ago. When the latter attempted his arrest, he placed his revolver in the marshal's abdomen and pulled the trigger. But the cartridge did not explode. For this, he was fined $200. Contrary to the expectations of the attendant physicians, the wounded officer lingered in great pain until 10:30 o'clock yesterday morning, when he died from the effect of the wound. Officer Sheehan had been on the force here for some 8 years and had been regarded as a most quiet and peaceable yet faithful and conscientious officer. He left a wife, but no children. Update to this story. Joel Thornton, the desperado, who shot and fatally wounded police officer Daniel Sheehan in a dry goods store in this city Saturday afternoon, was taken from the city prison here at 2 o'clock yesterday morning and hanged by a band of indignant citizens.